When you become more conscious of who you really are and start out on your spiritual journey, you might start to notice a few things. You might start to notice that certain situations are no longer aligned with who you are. Your values start to shift. And this becoming conscious can start out early on, but you'll also notice shifts throughout your spiritual journey. For example, the way I treat myself is much different now than the way I did at the beginning of my spiritual journey. At the beginning of my spiritual journey, and even before that, self-love was just a concept. It was kind of like one of those things where I said, well, that sounds nice, I should have more of that. Or, yeah, negative self-talk probably isn't very good. I'm going to try to work with that. And I made attempts, but they weren't consistent. Whereas now I'm more conscious of those moments where I'm not as loving toward myself as I should be. I'm more aware of when that inner critic comes up and that inner mean girl starts talking to me. And then I can make the choice to shift it. Whereas there was a time where that would have made me feel bad for hours and hours and even days at a time. And now I understand how to shift that, and I understand that I have worth and I'm deserving, and I understand what shifts I need to make, and I'm also more consistent with my spiritual practices. For instance, when I started out, it was kind of like, oh yeah, it's a good idea, and then I do it and put it down for a few days. Or, yeah, I'll do it when other people are doing it with me and holding me accountable, and then I'll just, go on about my day. Whereas now I'm more consistent because that has become one of my values and one of my kind of non-negotiables, things that I won't let myself off the hook on. Well, to a degree anyway, no one's perfect. But when people start to notice these value shifts, what tends to happen is they say, why are you like this? And they can become really triggered. Or the opposite can also happen, where people want to know how you made that shift, and they're curious about the changes in you. And I would say, don't get too caught up in what other people think about the value shifts and the changes that you're making in your life, because focusing on external validation and what other people think will definitely pull you off of the path, and that is, of course, not what you want. And if you do get pulled off of the path and start going back to earlier habits or earlier beliefs, don't beat yourself up about that. Have compassion for yourself because it's all part of the process. I'm sending you so much love and many blessings.